The heavy steel army helmet that I was wearing had slipped off the back of my head, and the thick leather chin strap was now biting into my throat, making it so I couldn't breathe. And I was singing, and I was playing guitar. There was a group of drunken teenagers who were watching with growing wonder, wanting to see if I'd be able to make it to the end of the song without passing out. But I could feel that they were rooting for me. Next to me was a leather-clad man behind a drum kit, and I could see him grinning, and I could tell that he was rooting for me as well. But my face was growing hot, and I was starting to see stars. So how did I get here? Well, I was a musician for more than 20 years, but then I stopped. Some of you may see the obvious appeal in being a musician, but for me personally, there were a couple of things that led me down this path. First of all is the creativity. As a naturally creative person, which is not to say that I'm particularly good or bad at any medium, just that I was always compelled to create, being a musician scratched a certain itch for me. Second, as an introvert, talking is not something that I particularly enjoy. And being a musician facilitated making connections with people on a level that I couldn't otherwise. Because on any given night, the bartender may become your biggest fan, or you may lead a group of strangers out into the street at 2 a.m. to play a final song, or you may just make eye contact with a single person in the audience and feel as if you have never not known that person. Now, a common joke about original musicians is that you'll drive 10 hours to play 10 songs to 10 people and get paid $10. So there are some downsides to this. First of all is the financial situation. You are pretty much always broke. Second of all is because of the travel and staying in strange places and late nights, you're almost always tired, you're almost always uncomfortable, and frequently you get to be a bit unhealthy. So why did I stop being a musician? The simple answer is math. Some of you may already be weighing the considerations that go into being a musician, the pros and cons. And at a certain point, while I was doing those calculations, the cons started to outweigh the pros. Because there are other means for me to create that don't involve me being broke all the time. And I can communicate with people without having to travel 10 or 20 or 30 hours in a single weekend. Now, that is not to say that at some point I may do the math again and it'll flip. And if it does flip and the pros outweigh the cons, I guess I'll have to dust my guitar off and become a musician once again. And by the way, I did finish the song without passing out, but I never wore the army helmet again.